for this. Down in the bottom left, in the blue trunks, it is gonna be Afterstar. And his opponent, up in the top right, on Overgrowth, it is gonna be Veni. Now, obviously, we spoke about Veni in the last game, like, told you just how terrifying an opponent he is. He's such a strong little wargame player. But its opponent, Afterstar, not such a bad player himself. Afterstar's actually won. I believe he actually picked up I'm gonna say week 7. Forgive me if I'm wrong. I think it was week 7 that Afterstar picked up. So he's not a bad player by any means. He is one of he's easily in the top 8, probably in the top 4. But obviously the upcoming results will kind of say how those results do in fact line up. And it looks like Veni once again just going for the super standard build. I'm honestly surprised he's going for it. It's a really good build on this map, don't get me wrong. But obviously people will start to pick up on this. Veni's one who just goes the same build every single time in a tournament. Once he found a build he likes, he'll just play it every single time. Like, he might mix it up game 2. Like, he might do something a little bit weird. But he'll almost always just open up first game with that same build. And he's been known to do that a lot in tournaments. So, Afterstar might know what's coming. And he is having a barracks down first. It's a little bit riskier with this big open choke. Like, I don't like it on Overgrowth. It's alright on some maps. But doing on an Overgrowth is kind of asking for trouble. I prefer Veni's build on this map overall. So, like, as much as I've just said, oh, he's doing the same build again, on this map, that's fine. This is like the best build for this map, in my opinion. But obviously, eventually he might get caught out with it. It looks like it's going to be 1 Den expand versus just 1 Rax expand. So nothing too at the usual. There we go, Veni's expansion guys go down. So we'll probably see a little bit of poking, a little bit of harassment. Afterstar's scout, possibly a little bit late actually, will scout this, but it will die. There is no doubt about that, unless Veni just chooses to skip past it. Nope, there we go. Okay, so that works as dead. The expansion actually going down for... Ooh, Afterstar. Possibly a mistake there. He saw the expansion, and I think he just elected to just like go for his own expansion. But I think that's a mistake, because obviously now there are wolves out. Veni's been delayed though, he's been stuck on his own side of the map. So that might work out for Afterstar. But I don't really like it. Veni's going to stay on his side of the map for the moment though. He's actually scouting a little bit further, possibly looking for proxies. So Afterstar will actually have a soldier in position to defend this. Fair enough. Yeah, Veni's clearly a little bit suspicious. For some reason that worker spooked him. Maybe just a weird timing or something, but he's not going to find anything because there's nothing to find. His first wolf will arrive, but Afterstar... Fair enough to him. I clearly haven't got the timings right for Overgrowth, because on most maps he would have been in trouble, but he's completely fine here. Yeah, so the wolf going to do a little bit of harassment, but the first rifleman will pop out, and he should be in absolutely dandy position to just deflect all of that nonsense. Veni again just scouting out the whole map. Now he's got a little bit of map control, making sure he knows what's going on. We might see a triple expand out of him again, but honestly I think that was just a BM build, really. He did it against Hyten because he felt confident against Hyten. He knew he could beat Hyten, which is fine. But Afterstar, while not maybe he's just top 8 rather than top 4 material, he's still not a bad opponent, and you do have to play a little bit cautiously with him. So No, no, it's not going to be any BM out of any. There's more wolves on the way. Ooh, never mind. Alright, clearly this is just a response follow-up for Veni's build. Fair enough. And actually, this is something that I used to do for a while, but I assume just fell out of favour. So basically, the idea of this strategy is you contain them in a bit. You just make sure there's no scouting going on. You work out roughly what composition is going on behind it, and you force them to tech up while you grab a third, because obviously they can't grab a third, so the tech has to come out. And you should be able to work out what tech is coming out with your wolves. That's the idea of the wolves at the front. And then he's going to have a monstrous macro behind us. He might go heavy upgrade wolves again. But he nearly, if he didn't have that fourth base, he would have thrown the game versus Heighton. He lost so many wolves, so maybe he won't go for it. I don't know. It's hard to tell what players are going to do sometimes. Oh, Afterstar steps up with the soldiers to try and find out what's going on. And will lose that one as punishment. The other two wolves might pick up this one in the back. There we go, the low health wolf being pulled back. Afterstar's actually going to lose a whole bunch in the front here. That's really, really not good. I'm honestly surprised he didn't try and pick off the second soldier. Because if he picked off two soldiers, the rifleman can't trade fairly in the front. And then actually Veni's in the main base. But it looks like he just wanted that one kill. He's then just going to regenerate his wolves up a little bit more. And I guess he can't really afford to lose this wolf force. Because if he does, obviously then that gives Afterstar an opportunity to work out what's going on behind this. But it is going to be double upgrades, so whoops. So it looks like it's going to be a very heavy upgrade wolf style again, which is actually pretty interesting. This is clearly a style that he's found to work well for him. We saw this come out of, I want to say Veni, but I'm not sure. I can't remember who it was. But someone did this build as heavy upgrade wolf style in the previous tournament, and did actually take a game with it, but not seen him do it so consistently. I kind of assumed it was just like a surprise build. So interesting. But clearly this is something Veni likes to do. I'm unsure about it. Afterstar's pumping up more soldiers, which is the typical response to wolves. And obviously dragons clean this up, but he's not transitioning into dragons. He's got no fort. He's only going into these upgrades. And upgrades obviously don't scale as well as wolves, on wolves even. So I'm really not sure about this decision. Afterstar, however, is just going up into this, basically the most standard build you can do, which is just the 3 racks forward and 2 base. Just because it gives you a nice mix of production and upgrades. He would really like that 3rd base though, but he can't move out on it until he has a lot more army supply. His army is more efficient, but it's going to be smaller at least to begin with. Now, I'm disappointed no one's going for any elevation play, but again, it's only been out for a day. No one's really going to be using it just yet. Veni's actually nearly saturated his 3rd base, so there we go. There's 2 dens coming down. I'll expect to see a whole bunch more in a minute, and I'm gonna be surprised, but it looks like he's just gonna go for there we go, 4 more dens coming down. He's gonna be going up to 5, probably up to maybe 7 in a minute, and it is just gonna be this mass wolf strategy. But I don't like this very much. I mean, it might work. He may just be able to overpower the fact that he's gone greedy and taken this faster economy. But I'm unsure. I am unsure. He might just be able to pump out so much stuff that he overwhelms Afterstar. And that could be a good point. He is actually going to go for this 4th base once again. So Clears is a little bit more of his standard play. Maybe I was wrong. I kind of assumed this was a bit of a cheesy build, but oh, if he knew how far Afterstar is out of position, he might actually just go for it. No? Okay. Doesn't think he has enough just yet. Maybe just waiting for his upgrades. Yeah, okay, so he's gonna wait for 1-1 and then go in. But yeah, okay, so he's gone. He's gone up to 5 wolves dens, which is kind of mental. And he has a much better economy. He's already 1 base up. He's about to be 2 bases ahead. Afterstar's trying to grab this second forge to keep up on upgrades, but in all honesty, he needs a better economy behind this. I'd love to see him use drop play to try and get around this and abuse the fact that most of the wolves are on this side of the map and actually do some damage to like the economy of Veni. But right now, I don't think he has many options. Like, even if he takes out a chunk of Veni's economy, like there's 1, 2, 3, 4 bases. That's gonna refresh the. Ooh, Veni, are you going for an all-in? What? This is a weird build. Afterstar's actually way out of position, so if Veni wants an engagement, he can take it. He's actually setting up. He's got wolves on the left and on the base. Afterstar knows the hit. Is Afterstar just going to go for it? Alright. +2 armor versus 1-1. So the net result is no upgrade advantage for either. Veni possibly looking into dragons or maybe just to defend that 4th base. Probably dragons would make sense as a transition here, but I'm not sure what. Veni's just trying to go home, but he's going home through the army of Afterstar. His army's actually split in 2. I'm not sure what he's doing here. Veni is actually possibly just going to throw a good chunk of this game away because he's going to lose so much of his army here. He's trading versus soldiers, not versus the riflemen, so he's not dealing with this a chunk of the DPS in the back. And where's his workers he pulled? Did he just transfer them? I guess he transferred them. But right now, he's got really good production behind this. That's the thing. Like, he can afford to trade here. But right now, he's not trading well enough, I think, that it's going to work. Afterstar's cleaning up even more wolves. Veni dropping down to 12 wolves. And I think Veni may have found the answer to this strat is just Afterstar. And obviously he's got to deal with this 4th base, with this 3rd base, and actually get his economy back on track. He's now going for his 3rd. But I do not like this position from Veni. I think this was a bad choice to build. He's possibly going to go into dragons now. But, and dragons might do it. And don't forget, obviously 5 wolves about every 20 seconds is a lot. So they are going to probably be able to hold on. But the question is, what does Afterstar target and where is he going to actually strike to do the damage? He's actually coming in behind us and he might get in on the rifleman, maybe? Again, I'd love to see elevation play here versus the wolves. Pull them into one position, hop up onto another one. But that's not the case just yet. And actually the soldiers all at this front line are going to trade fantastic with the wolves. The wolves are actually trying to come in, but Afterstar set up with more soldiers in the back line. So right now Veni is trading atrociously. He's not really killed anything of Afterstar yet. In fact, I think he's barely killed a single unit. And he's just lost like 20 wolves. He's producing enough that he should be able to clean this up, but Afterstar is just absolutely tearing through his army. Like, look, he just didn't lose anything. The soldiers are all on low health, but basically nothing died. The workers are trying to get in behind it now to actually get a surround on them. But this is not working out for Veni. It's actually +2/+2 on the wolves versus 1/2 on Afterstar's units, but they've cleaned up a huge amount here. Obviously though, Veni's got 4 bases, he can afford to just make 4 workers at a time, and that's going to work out pretty well just from recovering from this damage. More units are pouring across the map. Afterstar's not quite got his 3rd base up and running, and obviously bear in mind Veni almost technically has a 5th base by taking that double base. Oh, please tell me that my overlay is not broken on it. Oh, okay, so yeah, it looks like Veni is actually going to go down there. Afterstar's push does. Pardon me. So Veni's going to have map control. He's going to have the very slightly earlier expansion. So that'll be a nice start for him. But all in all, there's not a huge difference between these openings. But I will be surprised. I mean, I said that last game, but I'll be surprised if Veni goes for this sort of mass expand. Will start again, but never know. Hoping to see a little bit of variation out from him today, but maybe he's just planning on riding these one or two builds. But to be fair, we have seen the same build of Afterstar in both games so far. So Veni shouldn't be able to put too much pressure on. He's actually doing a huge amount of scouting in these games. I wonder if he's been facing a lot of cheese recently, because that's unusual. Normally you'd want to come over, put the pressure on before the rifleman comes out, and actually deal some damage, deal some harassment, maybe force some repairs. But no, doesn't look like he's going to go for it. He's not going to bother to go for the early harassment, which Afterstar is taking advantage of. He skipped the rifleman. He will need it in a little bit though, obviously, to deflect those first wolves if they do come and poke in the front. No? There we go, okay. So delaying it as much as possible. You do need it eventually, but it is quite nice if you can skip it for a bit, get out some extra workers, get out some extra tech, or anything else. Veni is doing so much scouting. I wonder what he's looking for. I guess he's just playing safe, but... Alright, he's going to come and be a little bit annoying at the front now, but the rifleman's going to pop out, and this wolf is going to do squat, so... Veni's opening didn't really do much for him. He's actually saving up a lot of gold. I wonder if he's just going to expand again and go for this triple expand style once more. Not much really to say at the moment. Both players standard. So obviously, whoever wins here goes up to the finals. The finals obviously is 7 and 8 points respectively for first and second. Loser goes down to the bronze match. The points obviously from this will continue to affect standings as well as your seedings. But the weekly tournaments do not affect who gets in to the qualifiers. That is purely the Sunday tournaments, which of course we are running one of those tomorrow. Yep, okay, so there's actually a triple expand style once again, and still no other production, so I guess... Is Veni seriously going to try this strat another time? Alright, fair enough. I guess this has just become his standard now, but a little bit strange. I get what it's doing though, it's blocking people in on just 2 bases, and that's fair enough. Interestingly enough, this would actually be the one time where dropships could be potentially annoying, because obviously his whole army's out at the front here. Dropships slipping off to one side would actually allow a whole bunch of units to suddenly turn up in his opponent's base, which could do a bunch of damage, but that's not what he's going for, sadly. Oh, the other thing, of course, reminded me of the recent event. Of course, if you do go and secure all those lovely points that we do have on offer, double tap, yeah, same build again here from Veni. Alright, see if we can make it work this time. But yeah, of course, those lovely points do get you qualifications for the Invitational Tournament. The top 6 to 8 players on standings do get invited to a special tournament at the end of the month, which is invite only. There's no other way of getting into that. So if you do want to have a chance of being in on all that fun stuff, then you do actually have to get the points from all your weeklies as well as your other taunt. And Afterstar is actually going to go for the drop play. That's super exciting. Like, I don't know how well it's going to work because he only has 1 barracks. So he's not going to have many units to back this up at home. And Veni may actually notice and then just try and put on as much pressure as he can. But I'm super excited to see dropships. I think it's pretty interesting. He's actually... okay, so he's going to go for a 4 soldier drop, probably in on this 3rd base. Which actually, with no upgrades, is going to be really hard to spot. Actually, it's going to be +1 armor drop. Which actually is a build you guys saw my dumb face doing earlier on the stream. To not much success, but Afterstar is a much better player than I am. So yeah, there we go, 4 soldiers lined up. The first dropship's nearly done. And right now, Veni, he can put some pressure on, but not very much. Like, seriously, not very much. There we go, he's going to come now to the front, but the riflemen here are going to deflect that. He's going to be happy though, he's got his 3rd base advantage. But he's going to have wolves, I guess, at home. He is going to have the odd 1 or 2 wolves, he's going to have worker pools. The thing is, he doesn't have any upgrades on anything yet. He's got 1-1 on the way. But this drop should hit well before that. And it may well do a lot of damage. There we go, the soldiers get into the dropship now. Veni is not going to see this, not remotely. He won't be able to see it, actually, as long as it hugs the tree line. And right now, Veni's got to be a little bit suspicious. He's got to be wondering what's going on behind this. But he's going to mix it up. He's going to take a little bit more into dragons this time. But it's still going very wolf heavy. I think Afterstar, he can afford to cut north now a little bit. But he's going to play it safe with this drop. Actually, it might... Ooh, if he's very unlucky, it might actually line up perfectly with 1-1, which would allow Veni to defend. But obviously his entire army is over outside Afterstar's base, just trying to contain him. Afterstar, there we go, now throws down the 3 racks forge. And Veni now sees it. He sees the drop. It's going to come in. Looks like it's going to drop. There we go. Comes in on the 3rd base. The workers are going to have to be pulled to defend this. There we go. The attack comes in. And obviously Afterstar can just pick up any units. And Veni's got to be really careful not to lose anything here. There we go. He's going to actually now pull these away. And this actually pulls the entire army back. Apart from 1 or 2 units to defend this and deal with it. And obviously this dropship is a lot faster than workers. So he can just pick them up, re-drop them. There we go, 2 workers go down in pretty quick succession. And obviously this dropship, every time the workers just get too far away, you can just pick up the soldiers, run them back over. And Veni has no anti-air right now. So it's super easy for him just to pick the units back up and then... Oh, of course, the forts don't shoot air, so there's not going to be any defense. And right now, Afterstar can feel free to just drop between bases, which is pretty darn sweet for him. And he's actually now going to go into the natural base, force the wolves to run back around. He does really want to get in on these low health workers, but the wolves are actually out of position now. They're over on the 3rd base. He picks up the low health soldier. Nice cute little bits of micro here. He's actually gonna pick up yet another worker. Veni is obviously still in the lead with this, 26 to 22. But Afterstar's doing a little bit of damage, being a bit annoying, and of course, more importantly, forcing the army back. As well as obviously scouting all these dens. Obviously there's like 5 dens right now, 2 dragon's nests. The thing is, as much as this is doing some damage, he's not got a 3rd base behind, which he desperately needs, and he doesn't really have an answer to, and he's got 6 riflemen now, but he's going to struggle to have an answer to all these wolves and all these dragons. So Afterstar's just going to continue to being annoying here. Oh, the wolves still getting top, and actually Afterstar's not really paying attention to this drop too well. And you might lose a few units. He will lose one soldier. No, okay, he does actually save it on. I'm not sure how much health I can't actually see here. The UI doesn't tell me, but he does manage to save that. That was pretty clutch. And all in all, he did some damage. Let's see, 3 kills, 2 kills, no kills. Alright, but now he's probably going to lose the rest of this drop. Oh, no, he picks it up again. So only 1 unit died out of all of that. He did get quite a few kills there, which is super sweet. And more importantly, he gets that 3rd base for himself and breaks the contain. And she's going to keep going for it. Veni has not spread out at all. He's not in position to deal with this. He does get surrounded now. 1 soldier will die, and the majority of this harassment is kind of over. No, Afterstar agrees with me. He's going to dip back into the main again. Wolves are fast, but dropships are faster. And this is going to be super frustrating for Veni. He desperately just needs those dragons out. Those dragons will be out in about 5 seconds, at which point this drop is not going to do much more, but they can just happily return home. I think Veni actually even rallying wrong. He's not probably even going to pick up this dropship. And now Afterstar's got a sizable home force. He's got more upgrades on the way. Oh, you've got to be careful. You don't want to lose that. They obviously take a lot of damage. It's only about 15-16 hits for that dragon to actually pick up and murder the dropship. Oh, it doesn't have any armor stats, I guess. Oh, but he does say that the army comes in underneath. And right now, what are we looking at in terms of army? It's actually going to be roughly 10 soldiers, 10 riflemen versus huge amounts of wolves. Huge amounts of wolves and a dragon. So actually Afterstar is kind of attuned for facing off dragons, not so much for these wolves. And these wolves could do a lot of damage here. He's going to come in and he's going to start to get the surround here. The dragon comes in as well. That's going to start picking off a few units. Afterstar actually with the cute block there with his airship. But I think most of Afterstar's army is going to get cleaned up. They do actually have fairly even upgrades, 1-2 versus 2-2, and he's going to trade fairly efficiently, but the surround is really, really good for Veni. 2 more dragons coming in now, and I think enough of this has died that Veni's going to clean it up. Although, actually, saying that, a whole bunch of wolves are starting in quick succession. The reinforcing units possibly being enough here. The dragons are going to space out and try and pick off 1 or 2 more soldiers here, which is pretty nice. And Afterstar doesn't have many more soldiers to defend the front of this, but he just killed 20 wolves of Veni's. Like, Veni just lost a huge chunk of his ground army, and didn't really trade it for anything. He's going to try and get a 4th base now, but this dropship once again has all these soldiers in, so he can afford to just go and drop that once again into any base he likes, which is a nice little option for him. Veni's actually going to go into the natural, and Afterstar's not got anything here to defend. All his riflemen are out of position at the front. He realizes that now and he's going to run back. Nope, no, he doesn't. Okay, the wolves have actually proved a distraction up at the top hand side. But now the dragons are here on the natural, the workers are all going to get fooled. And that denies one of Afterstar's only mining bases. His main base is nearly mined out. So that's super annoying for him. Afterstar's now being the one being pulled around. He's clearly noticed it because he pulled the workers, but he's deciding he doesn't want to deal with it right now. He's actually being pretty aggressive. Oh, okay, he's probably just focused on this drop up in the top hand side. Doesn't look like he's really going to get any worker kills, and he might actually lose this dropship if he's not careful. It's dropping down to half health. The dragons, though, with a couple of kills respectively. And Afterstar is actually going to lose this dropship. There we go, the attack gets cleaned up. The dropship, oh, he spots it now, but the dragon takes it out of the sky. It collapses, and that's annoying for Afterstar. That was one of his big utility pieces. And also the big mobility of this army. Obviously the dragons are a lot faster than this. And Veni's doing a fantastic job of just denying as much mining as he possibly can. Afterstar is just putting workers actually going to go for the attack. But I don't know how well this is going to work. Again, he's actually only got about 4 or 5 soldiers with this. So the wolves could very well get in on top of riflemen. And I think I like this position a lot more for Veni than I do for Afterstar. The problem is Veni's army is kind of split up and not really engaging properly. Afterstar does a good job of actually clumping this back up together and minimizing the surface area. The dragons come in from the left hand side and will lose one of those immediately going down. But the wolves now on top of the riflemen are trading really quite well. But once again though, these soldiers doing work. They've cleaned up so many wolves. And I think that's going to do it. The army of Veni, yeah, once again, pretty much all the wolves just die immediately. The dragons are now going to take it, but look at all these riflemen. So many riflemen here to back this up. The focus fire isn't perfect, but it's good enough. Veni's being forced to back off once again. He's going to get possibly a little bit... No, he's going to pass off on the free damage on the soldiers. And Afterstar's main is mined out now. The issue for Afterstar is maintaining the game. Because he has to defend lots of spread out bases. And he lacks the mobility unless he gets another airship. Which I would really like to see him go for, but he's not going to go for it just yet. Veni actually letting his macro slip in amongst this. And he's going for 5th base as well. The wolves have a pretty good surround on the riflemen now. There's no soldiers here ready to back this up. So, Afterstar, despite a good push, possibly overextending. There we go, more riflemen going down. And I think Afterstar really just should back up right now. Yeah, Afterstar says too much investment for drops, and I agree. It gave him some ability, but Veni is going to take the map. And up in the top left-hand corner in the red, it is going to be Veni. Down in the bottom right, in the blue trunks, is going to be Afterstar. Yeah, players just saying that dropships still just too expensive right now. I really would rather see like 150 for the advanced workshop and maybe 100 for the dropship itself. Might balance it out a bit, but we'll see. But this one game piece. Veni's going to go for just fast expand on this map, which I think is reasonable. There's a very long rush distance on this map. Oh, but unless he gets a wall off, he could be in trouble because this is going to be proxy racks, possibly proxy 2 racks out of Afterstar. Really interesting mix-up from him in Game 3. Very exciting indeed. So, Veni's going to be assuming a macro game. Like, with a long map, and with just the way it's panned out, people almost always just go for a safe macro style in a Game 3. That's just how the psychology of it works, at least in this game, that's how people play. Just because you don't want to risk suddenly throwing it away. Like, it's fine to throw away one game and then come back 2-1. Maybe in a second game if you're 1 game up. But in a 3rd game, it's risky. And people don't like risky. But that's exactly why Afterstar's build is going to work. Because Veni's not going to be expecting risky. He's going to be expecting macro. And Afterstar is not going to give it to him. Not at all. And it could be a little bit of a surprise. We'll see how it goes, but obviously Veni is one of the expected people to go up into sort of the finals here. Oh, but it is going to be fought straight out of here for Veni. And the second rank's going down for Afterstar. Veni only now going out for the scout. That's such a late scout. That's like a minute and a half. Well, it's like, yeah, it's like a full minute late. And he will see the practically empty main. He'll work out there's cheese coming. But the mozzarella is already prepared. Oh, I think this fort should be done in time. That he should be able to hold on. Like, if he brings his workers and mines in this second base, he should be okay. But I'm really not sure. I'll start actually just going for purely soldiers here, which is interesting. I really would have rather seen Riflemen. I think Riflemen had the better choice for an all-in, just because you can't micro against them so well, and they're great at picking off the low health units. Then he's now going to come in. He sees no expand, and he sees nothing but a house, and he's going. But where is your stuff? Where is your stuff? Why haven't you attacked me? And he knows there's some sort of cheese, but he's probably confused as to why nothing's coming. There we go. Now he sees it, and he sees two soldiers rolling into his base. The fort's going to be done in time, though. So he should be able to hold this, which is really, really, really bad news for Afterstar. Like, fort is so strong. Like, it's the equivalent of, like, photon overcharge. So, we'll see if it works out. I wish I could have a range indicator. Like, that would be lovely. Can someone just write me a mod for that? That just, like, replaces these discs with the range of a building? Would be fantastic. It'd make my life so much easier. I'll start. It's going to go up to yet more soldiers, but I don't know how much damage he's going to do. Like, he might be able to do a bunch of damage. There's obviously a lot of soldiers coming, but there's one dragon's nest on the way. This is. I'm gonna feel so bad for Afterstar though. If like what does fast 2 racks work against if it can't work against fast expand? I guess it's better against 1 racks or 1 den, but it just seems silly that fast fortress defends this so well. Like, as soon as dragons come out, Afterstar just kind of loses. He won't have the macro to keep enough riflemen together to beat this out. So, if dragons come out, Afterstar just kind of dies. And he can't go for the fortress because obviously the repairs are going to come down immediately. He's going to have to go in and try and do as much worker damage as he possibly can. He goes in for it though, and the workers are going to go in for a surround. They just need to buy as much time as they possibly can, so that the fortress can do a lot of damage. There we go, the weak workers are actually just being pulled back. He does lose 2 in quick succession though, and that's a pretty big deal. The soldiers are now going to try and go in. There is one worker actually doing a little bit of damage to stop this. Officer's going to make sure he doesn't take too much damage from this tower. More soldiers coming in even from the left hand side. First soldier falls, and now the soldiers are out of the range of the tower, the fort. But Veni's just going to move his entire force across, and Afterstar's taking so much damage from this fortress. So much damage. He's managed to deny the main base, and he might get a few more worker kills here. We're currently looking at 7 for Veni and only 10 for Afterstar. But right now, there's a dragon on the way. He's got to switch into rifleman pretty soon. Like, oh, it's so close. He's going to try and... Oh, if he actually gets this dragon nest, he's got to be careful not to lose the soldiers, but he might get the dragon's nest. The soldiers are actually still denying all this mining time. The dragon's nest is actually falling down to like 300 health. Afterstar could actually just straight up win the game here. The workers are doing an excellent job of kiting this, and the fortress has actually got like 3 kills already, but the... there we go, the workers are going to come in to repair this. 1 goes down, 2 goes down. Another worker's going to fall as soon as the soldier actually lands the hit. There we go. The dragon nest goes down. Veni's on nothing but about 5 workers. Like, obviously he can recover. And Afterstar takes it. Afterstar actually takes it with the 2 racks. Takes down the dragon's lair. Jeez, wow. Okay.